Good morning, good evening. Hi, everybody. Yeah, good evening to you guys in LA and good morning to the Zim side, but it's going to be evening when we show this. So good evening to everybody. And welcome to this session. We're calling it Owning Our Talent. And basically the film festival this year, our theme is Owning Our Stories. And so Janini sent us an email and he said, I've got this film, it's got 2 Zimbabwean actors in it. And I was like, wow, so we created this slot specifically to say, we need to own our talent. We need to be proud of our guys and what they're doing out there. And so we're just having this call with all of you guys. We have a brief chat that we can just catch up with you guys doing in the States. So welcome. If you'd like to just go around and introduce yourselves to everybody, just say hello. We'll start with Janini. If you just like to give us a personal background and your journey into film, just so everybody gets to know who you are. Those who don't know.
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Janini Semedo Moreira. I'm actually doing this call for my car, guys, because I am actually now on set actually shooting, and I got this nice ring light and I was able to step away and do this quick call, and I after this call I gotta go back on set. I'm directing this music video, but I'm a filmmaker, director, writer, director, and originally born and raised in the Netherlands. Moved to LA about 12 years ago to pursue my dreams, my ambitions, my goals. And it's been a heck of a journey. Overall, I'm an artist, and my goal is to direct big movies. That's what I'm going for, and I'm here, chasing the dream and working hard every day, doing what I can, and working with amazing actors like Tongai and Rick. You guys are gonna get to know them in a second, but my journey has been incredible here. I'm someone that chases his heart and his passion, and I will do anything to achieve my goals, because we have only one life. So I feel like we have to shoot our shot. So yeah, definitely. That's me.
Thanks, Janini. To Rick next. We'll just go alphabetical. So yeah, go.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Zimbabwe in Chigutu. And
Lavagunde!
Come on, Lavagunde! I didn't go to Lavagunde like Tongai, but I did know the headmaster of Lavagunde Junior, who used to come to our rugby games, and that's what he used to say. I mean, it was his catchphrase, basically. I mean, anyone who played against or knows, or even had someone who they knew who went to Lavagunde knows that. So when Tongai, or when Tongai maybe, but if I or Tongai wins an award,
yeah,
we're gonna say, except you forgot because you won an award for this thing, but it's okay. You're flustered. It's good practice. Come on, Lavagunde.
Yes.
So that's what it means when you hear it in the future. But I moved to Australia when I was in 2000. And I was there for 10 years, and then I moved to Los Angeles. And yeah, it took me a few years, and then I started on the Vampire Diaries, and then I went on to The Flash and onto Quantico, and yeah, it's been a kind of really amazing journey, also very up and down. But I'm so happy to be working with Tongai, and obviously Giannini, at the helm of this project was really a trip. So yeah, there's obviously a number of other projects that I'm doing and that I've been doing over a long period of time. I shot a film in Zimbabwe in 2015 and was in the festival 2017. Yeah. So I was at the festival then too, and yeah, I hope to do a lot more. So
awesome. Thanks, Rick. And then Tongai, can you start with that bit? Just start with that bit again. What was that? And do it slowly, like that call you have. Yeah, that call you have with you and Rick.
Oh yeah, it's come on, Lamagunde.
Okay, all right. Right.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. If you go to any rugby games when Loma Gundy's playing, yeah, that was pretty synonymous, especially when we were growing up. So, you know, we have a good tackle about that. But like Rick, from Zimbabwe, born and raised in Harare, moved to South Africa for film school. I think it was 2006. Then I came out here in 2009. So I've been here a good 12 years now. And yeah, you know, before I came to the States, I did Mr. Bones, you know, did a couple commercials out there, then, you know, did Crusoe, which was for NBC. That was my ticket to coming over to the States. And, you know, since then, you know, been in a couple of shows, the Jim Gaffigan Show, iZombie. I'm actually kind of, what is it? Okay, the latest ones, I'm trying to go back to, you know, but the latest one was Another Life, which was on Netflix. It's actually streaming right now. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out. And, you know, some studio films. I've been in Antebellum and Palm Springs with Andy Samberg, Antebellum with Janelle Monáe, just to name a few. And of course, you know, looking forward to the ABC miniseries, Women of the Movement. It's about Emmett Till, but more so about Emmett Till's mother and, you know, what she had to do after her son was murdered in the South in the 1960s. So it follows her story and her courage to actually reveal or show the rest of the world the atrocities of segregation and racism in the 1960s. And I got to play an amazing character by the name of Medgar Evers. He was a NAACP activist at the time, who was unfortunately assassinated in the South not long after the Emmett Till story. So quite a few things to look forward to in terms of work-wise. But yeah, been here 12 years, just like Rick, you know, you're constantly on the grind and, you know, you've got the bigger vision of what it is that you want to do and achieve. And so every project we do, one step we get closer to it, one step at a time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, if all of you want to know more about the work that was on your IMDb pages, I was like, wow, you know, you guys are really, really doing a lot of work and it's amazing. And you were just touching on being on the grind, you know, every day.
Yeah.
That will lead to the next question. We'll start with you, Tongai, about your expectations when you went out there and your reality now. How's that comparing? How are you finding things?
Because of where we come from, you know, there is no plan B. So the only expectation that I had of myself was to get there and work hard, because that's, we know how to work. So irregardless of whatever is thrown at us, it's not anywhere close to the hardships that we obviously I faced when I was, you know, back home. You know, because it's a thriving industry. So the things that I would have to have overcome back home, you don't find them here. You know, so in terms of things changing too much, not so much in terms of my drive and my passion and hunger to achieve and excel, because I choose to focus on what I need to focus on, you know, because out here it's so easy to get distracted. And once you do that, it's easy to lose focus of what it is that you came out here to do. And that will just impede on your journey. So stay focused regardless of how the circumstances or the situations change in the environment, because that's the only way you get to the top.
Right, great. And Rick, how are you finding compared to your expectations or what you'd see?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I think I always, you know, when I was in Zim, I remember having this plan to just kind of go to Hollywood and after school, and no matter what. But I'm so glad I didn't do that. But because, you know, we ended up moving to Australia, and I think then when I was like sort of 16, 17, I sort of started realizing that I could go to drama school. So, you know, going to university and studying acting was, for me, was a really, really great kind of path to take. And then having 6 years in Sydney, you know, doing a lot of theater and a lot of different, you know, little TV shows and films and stuff, you know, to prepare me to come here, I think for me was really very confidence building. And it set me in good stead for what was to come. But coming here, I was very intimidated by coming to Los Angeles, and there was a few actors who had got managers who came back to Australia, so that sort of gave me a bit of, you know, hope, I suppose. But when I first got here, honestly, like all my Zoom friends were like, "What's Hollywood like, hey?" And I was like, "It's kind of like Bulawayo. Like it really reminds me of Bulawayo."
Wow.
Wide streets, sandy soil, acacia trees, jacarandas, hills in the background, kind of like low industrial looking buildings. I mean, it's like, it's not very intimidating. To me, it was kind of like, oh, I feel kind of like I'm at home. And I also remember my last audition for Quantico, I was down at the ABC studios in Burbank against the fence, you know, just really quite nervous in the car park. And I looked down and there was all this rubbish and this like amazing like creek with all this sandy like shure soil where we grew up outside Chigutu. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the Suri Suri Club. Like, this is crazy. I just suddenly felt quite grounded. And then walked in and like kind of nailed it.
Yeah. Kinda. Come on, man. You know what you did in there. Stop it.
Mean, yeah, I do. But God, it takes a lot of stamina. It takes a lot of, you know, like a lot of grounding and a lot of, because at those moments when the pressure's on, you know, that's when all your old voices can come in and really kind of cloud things for you. So you really have to be a warrior in that sense. And so anyway, all that to say, yeah, I guess, you know, it was the audacity to believe, you know, to believe that I could do it. And it was a life coach and acting teacher who taught me that when I was 27 as well, to start believing and saying, I can, I will, and just run towards where you want to go. Yeah.
Awesome, amazing. I love how you got a taste of home before going into that big audition. So you're like, yes, Zim is with me. I can do this. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anybody in Bulawayo, when you go to Hollywood, if you're coming from Bulawayo, you're gonna fit right at home, right?
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
It's,
yeah, we'll move.
It's the same Earth.
It's the same Earth, exactly. We have just one Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Janini, coming from a different side of the earth, coming from a different part of the world and getting to Hollywood, how was the change for you? I guess Europe has, you know, a thriving film industry there, but then coming over, you crossover to Hollywood. How was that for you?
Yeah, no, my story is a little different, I would say, because when I first moved to LA, I was about 21 years old. I'm also a professional dancer and choreographer, so I have a whole different career before I even started film. So I came here with a big dream. I did a TV show back in my country called So You Think You Can Dance. And I ended third place in the show. I got my work visa. I knew that I wanted to be on the biggest stages with the biggest artists. So I knew I can't stay in the Netherlands. Although it's a nice country, quality of life is nice. When it comes to entertainment, whether it's dancing or artists or music or film, it is not as big, of course, as here in Los Angeles. So I was 21. I moved as a dancer, and I would say, you know, in my first year, I went on tour with Rihanna, and then I was 3 years on tour with Cirque du Soleil. I did Lady Gaga for a year. So I was working on a certain level here in LA as a performer, but as a dancer. So in that process is when I fell in love with film. I always was the guy that had a camera with me filming my experiences, and that was a hidden passion that I in a way unlocked. I had no idea, and I immersed myself into it. And while I was dancing and traveling the world with these artists and shows, I couldn't go to film school because I was already dancing. So I just had to learn by doing. And every time between tours, I would come back to LA where I was based, and I would try to find actors. because in the beginning of my film career, I was working with my dancer friends who were not actors. They were not as great as Rick and Tongai, but they were willing to play. They were willing to play. They were willing to do whatever. And I think that time was very important because I had people around me that were just willing to go. And I had a camera, I had my laptop, and I could shoot and create, even though they were not actors. And I guess that's when I started to a little bit get the basics of it. And when I'm back to LA, that's when I met some better actors, and my work got a little better, slowly but surely. And it led me all the way the journey to the great Tongai and Rick. So,
Bro,
uh,
bro, you
so-
say you never went to film school.
never
You never
went.
studied film.
No,
You never studied writing.
no.
And that's the caliber of work, man.
Thank you, Tongai. Tongai is too nice, but you know, so
Incredible.
me coming to LA, I was really immersed into the dance industry here, which is huge. It's I would say the mecca of dance and commercial dance, right? If you want to go on tour with Beyonce or Justin Timberlake or whoever, all the auditions happen here. So the competition is very, very murdering. I mean, I step into a room to an audition that in one day they see there's probably 800 people there, right? Groups of 200-300 people learning choreography, and they only have places for 10 dancers. So and it's not that different for actors. Actors come in and they see all their competition, they're sitting, and they have to nail it. And so it's, in a way, there's a lot of similarities as a dancer. And unbeknownst to me, it kind of prepped me for what was about to come, because the nature of our business is rejection, I would say. I think the moment you start to accept that and learn how to deal with that is when you can thrive, because you have two groups of people, in my opinion. You have the people that refuse to quit, and then you have people that quit. But rejection will never go, in a way, right? Until you maybe hit that Denzel status, or whoever, then maybe. But I'm sure for 99% of performers and actors, it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey, and that taught me a very, very valuable lesson. Even starting as a filmmaker, how to kind of deal with hearing no, right? For every yes I got, all the big names I got on my resume as a dancer, I probably have 90 no's. So it really prepped me for, if I send out my script or I start to pitch ideas to studios, if I hear a no, it's okay. It's part of the process. I already went through it as a dancer, so I already know how this goes. I just need to try 100 times and only need one chance, and that's gonna maybe give a chance. So it's really a mentality that I guess learned from being a dancer, that I kind of translate into being a filmmaker. So yeah, so I LA is a very interesting place, and it's it's a place where a lot of people have dreams, and some people will make it, some people not. But ultimately, it's about who can hold their breath the longest, I would say, who can stick it out, who can keep fighting for their dream. And it's an industry where I think, especially as for actors, I believe that even as you age, you'll there's always roles for you, right? You might play the 20-year-old, you might play the high school kid, and you get older, then you might play the dad, and you might play the grandfather, but I think there's always space for people here. So it's really up to you and your mentality, how you deal with the journey, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, so it's a mentality thing, because Rick was saying he had a coach as well, so basically it's 90% in your mentality, like your focus and all that. So that's amazing. And yeah, like you said, it's an interesting place, because there you have three guys from Zimbabwe, from the Netherlands, and then they meet suddenly in LA, and they're taking the world by storm. How did that happen? Like, how did you guys all on that one set? Like, tell us the story about Making the Border. How did
Yes, no,
it's
if I'm going to tell my side of things, and then maybe then I'll Tongai and Rick can take over from their side. But I have great people around me here, creatives, and I got a link from a co-writer of a challenge. It's called the Collaboration Filmmakers Challenge, and the challenge was that on the kickoff event, of everybody that applied to the event, you get a quote, and you got 2 weeks to write, develop, shoot, direct, edit, sound score, and deliver a short film of max 6.5 minutes. That was the challenge. So now I got the email for this event, and the next day was the event. So I had a couple of hours to make my decision. Am I going to commit to this or not? I decided I'm going to do it. I went to the event. It was great, and they released the quotes, and I went to work. And one of the first thoughts I had was, diversity to me is important. I want to work with all types of people and colors, right? All types of genders, even you know, non-binary people. I really want to have that be part of my work. So the first thought, to be honest, because I worked with Tongai before, he's probably the first one that I called. I said, hey, this is what's happening. Are you down? Yes or yes. I gave him no choice. Yes or yes.
Yes or yes.
So I kind of explained the concept, and I said, look, opposite you, I need a villain. I need somebody that matches you, because I know, Tongai, what you bring to the table. And I have some actors that I know, but I trust, you know. And he said, look, can I suggest someone? And I said, absolutely, I trust you, because I know Tongai is at a certain level, and he will come with someone that matches him. So he said, I know Rick. And I said, who's Rick? And he said, I'll show you. So that's when, you know, as Tongai was talking, I saw Rick's work, and I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. So I got Rick's contact through Tongai. I stalked Rick, hunted him down. You know, he was probably busy doing shows in Hollywood, and I was like, hey, I'm you know, I know you don't know me, but I do this small project. Are you? And you know, I guess, you know, and Tongai and Rick can do it from their side, but they were so generous with their time and them willing to hop on board. I didn't have, you know, major studio money to offer them, but what I could offer was hopefully a cool project that they thought was cool to be a part of. So I am personally grateful that they said yes to this, and that's kind of how it started from my perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, when I worked with Janini, like, you know, I knew him through a mutual friend who actually invited me to work on another short film that he was doing, you know. But I won't lie, like the first time I got on set, you know, I'm seeing this dude, he's got like one light and he's got like a little camera, and you know, it's like, I'm like, what on earth is this boy trying to do up in this state? Because this is gonna look shadier than a good grader, you know. But it was when after I saw the finished product, because he also does like special effects. I swear you would think that we threw in like $10,000 to do this little short film. Wow. Like his vision and the way he's able to capture things, I was just like, if you're able to do this with 2-3 lights in a garage somewhere, and it's looking like we went to a proper studio, I can't wait to see what you're gonna do when people start throwing some serious money at you. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I was like, man, I'm stuck to you like white on rice. You know, whatever you're doing, we riding together, brother.
I'm there, yeah.
So yeah, so when he hit me up, I was like, this is a no-brainer. He told me the concept, and immediately I was like, I know the person for this role. So I was like, because, you know, I'd seen Rick's work. We had, you know, we've hung out a couple of times, but I was like, yeah, man, I want to work with this dude, man. Because like, it would be nice to have, you know, somebody that's from back home, but also kind of like really doing it. And hopefully this will be the beginning of many more projects together. But yeah, it was a no-brainer. I guess I knew how versatile he was. And I was like, yeah, take a look at his work. You will be blown away. And so I did just that, and this is how we got connected. So I hit him up, and I was like, yo, you free? Rick was like, hey, Lava Gande, sure.
That's right, I was on it, honestly. I was on it. I would have said yes to anything Tongai recommended, but he was like, you know, this guy is amazing. This guy is so good at what he does, and it's so rare to have, you know, it's so rare, like what Giannini has. and it's everyone will want to work with him. You know, it's especially with actors, it's so incredible when someone is such an incredible filmmaker, because they also make you look really good, right? And you know, I know that Tongai would make me look really good too. Really great actor. So I was really happy to be a part of it, and not only that, it really exceeded all my expectations of it, because I knew it was just for a competition and, you know, shooting really fast and all the rest of it. And I could not believe when Giannini sent me the film what he had achieved in such a short space of time. I mean, it was really quite something. You know, we were only on set for, I don't even know how long, but it wasn't even a day.
No, half a day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Look, I mean, this man, like, I'm gonna throw some praises, man. This man, his vision, and the fact that, like, I'm just like, oh, I thought he went to film school, but he's like, if he just picked it up, the ability to be able to cue into genres the way Giannini has, and to be able to edit it in a specific way that you can tell, like, if somebody was to see his work, you would think that, okay, this guy has had years of school training and this, but like, you know, like Rick was saying, I mean, this man is a rarity. Like, you know, should Hollywood, and when Hollywood gives him his chance and this, you know, opportunity to shine, he's taking over. He's taking over. Now, we might have to be like calling his PA.
Yeah, exactly.
To get in touch with him, because he's going to have back-to-back movies. And that's the kind of visionary he is. Like, I mean, it's amazing. And I think this is what Hollywood would appreciate, because like, if he was like, what you saw was done for less than $500.
Wow.
Okay. And so if that's one of his ways of actually being able to give you quality work for next to nothing, oh man, he can turn the $5 million project to look like 10 million, which is obviously the key for what any producer would want in Hollywood. Like, can you make my money go far?
Right.
And keep the quality. I mean, and that's him right there, because it's like a producer, director, writer, editor. He does everything. It's crazy.
And knows exactly what he wants as well, and makes everyone feel really comfortable. And yeah, I mean, I just can't say enough good things about it. Just so wonderfully professional. Like, yeah, it was just a joy, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Hey, I do want to add for everyone, you know, the reason I was able to make it for barely nothing is because of you know, Rick and Tongai saying yes to doing this, essentially in the free time while they have other stuff going on, while they're busy, to say yes, do this project. You know, and that is something that helped me as an independent filmmaker on my way, hopefully, to the top, where you know, to get these amazing huge favors, right, from these amazing actors. If you know, obviously, if they deserve every dollar they make, and by times 100, you know. So the fact that they said yes to this to help me out, is how I saw it, to say, hey, yes, we want to work with you, and don't worry about that part. You know, and I'll repay them later for sure. Once I make the blockbuster Hollywood movies, both of them are gonna I'm gonna be stalking them again, and hopefully this time
we'll be waiting, don't worry.
We're waiting.
And we have it on tape.
Yes, exactly. But you know, I have, you know, and I don't want to get into that right now, but I have different stuff now coming up, and things are moving for me. And in my mind, I'm already working with them on more projects in my mind. Now the world just needs to see that. So they need to see that. They don't even know, but it's already happening in here for me. So, you know, I just wanted to add that I was able really to do this because they decided to come on board and help me out with their free time, you know? So yeah, kudos back to you guys.
That's amazing. We're going to check out the making of The Border, short clip that you made, where you're just going to be telling us some of the incredible stuff you did, like how you made the time machine, you know, awesome stuff that you did.
Oh yes, welcome. My name is Janini Semedo Moreira, and I'm the writer, director, and producer of sci-fi thriller short film, The Border. Now this right here is the behind the scenes. Let's jump right in and show you how we created the film. I knew I wanted a time machine. In order to get a time machine, somebody needs to build this. Why not build it myself? As I was building this hopefully awesome time machine, I was doing several things at the same time. Finishing up my screenplay, creative meetings with my DP, Matt Young. I had to cast, location scout, and of course, get all the props that I would need. Once everything came together, we had 2 shooting days to make it happen. And boy, it was a lot of fun.
All right, guys, let's cut. Cut, please. Cut. Cut. That's great.
Once we were wrapped, of course now the final stage, post-production. I had to cut the film, send it to my composer, started doing visual effects, coloring, sound design. Everything came together. So I want to just give a special thanks, a shout out to my DP, Matt Young, my composer, Johan, all my actors that make my vision come alive, and of course, everybody that supported me to make this film happen within 2 weeks. That is kind of crazy. 2 weeks. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to everybody involved that made this happen. As you know, filmmaking is a collaborative thing. I could have not done this by myself. Go out there, keep creating, and also a special thank you to CFC for making this happen.
And then, so now I heard from Janine that the last shot of the film was filmed in under an hour. And you guys just kind of got on the set, and he said, right, let's do this. How did you guys do that? He says, you did an amazing job, and I was like, of course they did, they're Zimbabweans. But how was it for you guys?
That's right. I mean, I think, we're Zimbabweans, we're prepared, and being prepared for me is just such a big part of having fun on set and being able to have a good creative time on set. Because, and Giannini's so prepared and Tongai was so prepared. So we were able to, I think, just stay in the zone and just keep going until, he got what he wanted. And we all felt really satisfied in a short space of time because it was all there and the chemistry was all there and the set was all there and he also had an amazing these 2 Australians, incredibly industrious Australians, which is fantastic little DPs. Yeah.
And I have to add as well, just to give the respect to Botongue and Rick. The reason for the last scene, which is the climax of the film, the reason why we probably had an hour left is we were shooting all day, some of the other stuff in there. But when we got to the final scene, which is, I would say, the most important scene of the short film, time was kind of running out and I was shooting some other stuff. And I remember Rick and Tongai being on the hallway, right outside of the room, just going over their lines. And I was running and making sure, I was looking at the time because we had a certain time in the location. And both of them individually, I had phone calls with them before the shoot to go over their characters. And they had, so many great pointers how to make the character come alive. I only gave them the foundation. I gave him the cement blocks, but they actually put up the walls, the windows, the roof. You know, they build that, you know, and I just give them the foundation in a way. And when I saw them rehearse, I knew it was fine. And when they stepped into the set and we did I had to literally give no notes. The only thing I probably had to do was tell them, maybe stand to your left, stand to your right, walk there. But when it comes to the performance, the fact that we spoke on the phone about the characters and their ideas of these characters and their backstories and the motivation and their rehearsal together, it really made them just, you know, as a director, I could completely let go and literally roll the camera and make sure we captured the magic that they brought together, really. So I really wanted to give the respect to both of them, because it's a dream as a director to work with actors like this. I mean, I had an idea of the characters, but they elevated that to a whole nother level. It really made it come alive in front of my eyes. So yeah, so that was really spectacular to see them in action like that.
Yeah, I mean, Tongai, I give you a chance to speak, but like I just also wanted to add that, you know, I was also so excited to work with Tongai, who work with someone from Zimbabwe, who I know is so brilliant. I think that was also something that made me, you know, made me act better, you know. So that was kind of really thrilling.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny. Like when you have a respect for an individual, usually that person tends to bring out the best in you, you know. And especially when we were rehearsing, like, you know, how we were kind of like going back and forth and talking and fixing this and asking this and like, but let's change that, let's change this. But the fact that you're able to be a very giving performer as you are, you know, it was really cool to dance and to do this dance with you, because it's like, honestly speaking, there's a safety in knowing that person's got you, you know. And so it won't really matter what type of roles that we play in the future, you know, because it's like, yeah, oh yeah, we got a dance thing that we got that was going on. And like I'm saying, you know, and I deeply respect Rick and obviously Janini, you know, so it just was a pleasure to do the Royal Rumble with people that actually know what's expected of them. And when you, like Rick is saying, when you come prepared, now you can throw away all that work and now you can just have fun. Because when you're now sitting in the world that Janini created for us, it takes on a different, you know, feeling, you know, the mood changes. And now suddenly it's like, ooh, okay, oh, this is juicy. You know, the nuances, if you watch Rick and what he was doing with his eyes, you know, like it's not what we rehearsed, but when you're in the zone, it's like, ooh, okay, I see you. Well, I'm gonna give you my eye too. Like, let's see who eyeball each other to that, you know. It is, that's the dance. And that's when you see, when you talk about actors, you're like, oh wow, this is such a great actor. Did you see what he did when he thought about that? And he's just like looked up into the, and you know. So all that to say, with Janini, I know he was a little panicked at the end because obviously time was running. But I think once he saw the first rehearsal and when we started the film, I could feel him literally just tell the cameraman, like, no, just follow, just catch what they're doing. I will fix it in edit, because this is what I'm talking about. Like that makes you get even more alive. Exactly. And that happens too.
That's amazing. You have no idea how proud I feel. I'm like, oh, you know, it's just amazing. If we could have more, I mean, you guys are part of a growing number of Zimbabweans who are doing really well in the film industry in the United States, in the United Kingdom, you know, and other places. And so it's just amazing that we've got this work ethic. I think it's something that comes from here, you know, and it's just wonderful. That's why we call this session like owning our talent. We've got amazing talent. Then when you put us together with, we're amazing. We are unstoppable. So yeah, I think if you'd like to just maybe give the young, you know, there's a lot of people, everyone I'm going to go to Hollywood. What would you tell them? What would you tell the younger you about, when you get to Hollywood, this is how you need to be? Because so far I've picked up respect, I've picked up focus, but there's like these things that you guys have used, and this work ethic, this diligence. But what else would you tell a young Zimbabwean who's trying to come out there and make it too?
I would say, yeah, sorry, you go.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I would say, that there are new role models being, molded now all the time, right? And to me, that's exciting because I don't think I really had anyone that I could look up to that was, it was always like Brad Pitt or, who are really, really great, but they're kind of their own thing. And now, with the industry being so diverse, it may not look like there may not be a blueprint for who you are in Hollywood yet, but why don't you be that person? Why don't you be that thing in Hollywood that one day people will be like, wow, I could be like that person. And I think that's a beautiful way to approach it, that I would have loved to approach it a little bit differently, because it means that you're authentic. And once you're authentic, that's when you really shine. And that's why Brad Pitt shines, because that's his authenticity, but it's not mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So to just come in as yourself, be yourself.
Yeah, and just fully fledged, play big, be exactly that. Yeah. Totally.
Thank you for that. Wow. And Tongai?
Wow. I mean, how am I going to top that one? That pretty much says it all. I think one of the other things with everything that respect, coming as your authentic self, having the hunger, you definitely have to have something that grounds you, and so whatever that is for you, make sure you have something that grounds you, because if you do not have the focus or something to go to when, like, everyone said, when, you get 99 no's before you get your first one, your first yes, what do you do with that? How do you deal with rejection? Because that's traumatizing. So where is your safe space when all you seem to see hitting just brick after brick after brick wall? So you got to come with that. Otherwise, you will take to anything just to get over the lows, which is why people then find themselves, addicted to certain things or doing things that they never thought they would do, because they didn't have the stamina or the strength to push through the negativity.
Wow, thank you. Wow. So to stay grounded, what keeps you guys grounded? It's personal, but what keeps you going? Get those lows, when you get the no, was something that you really, really were confident about, and what keeps you going?
I think I'm anxious to get back into acting class, because that to me, gives me a bit of a base to touch and to work towards. But you have constant auditions, so they kind of like keep you really busy as well. Then you're having to also like make money and then maybe do a job here and there. Lucky I also have my little sister here, and just having that touchstone as well has kind of really helped me, I guess. But yeah.
Family is real important. Family, yeah. Amazing. And Tongai, Janini, things that keep you grounded. I know Janini plays some football, some soccer here and there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think for me it dealing. I think what both Tongai and Rick said is super important to be your authentic self. It's fairly easy, if you're not aware, to lose yourself in a place like this, where there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of temptations, there's a lot of confusion if you don't stay focused, if you have so much rejection going on, you maybe start to doubt yourself, right? So I would say be your authentic self, what Rick said, and what Tongai said about grounding yourself is important. And that is a journey, right? You might not find it the first day, right? What grounds you. But I guess you find it as you go on a journey. And I found out that for me, I think perspective is very important, because when you're so in the middle of it and you hear no after no, it can, like what Tongai said, it can become traumatizing. But to go back what Rick said, he has his little sister here, right? For me as well, visiting back home and being with family, being around people that actually I can come as I am. It doesn't, even if my career is low or high, they still love me the same. And I think that's an important base. And for people that might not have a supportive family, you can still build that around you with the people around you. And I think, to me, that was another important thing, is to be selective who I have around me, right? Because people can either build you up or break you down. And to be aware of your support system. I think whether it's your family or direct friends around you, I think those are all things that help me deal with that, with those traumas of rejection and self-doubt, and because it's part of the journey. I'm not going to sit here and say that was never, yes, it is not going to be always easy and you just cruise control and go, that you're going to have ups and downs, and talking about Brad Pitt, he has ups and downs, and I believe not that long ago got divorced, and I think he was addicted and had to kind of go to rehab. So that is just a testament and shows you that doesn't matter where you are on the totem pole, right? Or either you're low or you're all the way on top of the mountain, nobody escapes life and the challenges. So I think it's really individually finding what gives you peace. And I enjoy playing soccer, right? Playing football, because when I do that, it kind of clears my mind of everything else, right? Same thing with dancing. It kind of clears everything else. And then I can recharge and come back to fighting for my dreams, which, sometimes can get a little exhausting. So I think you need that time to kind of regroup and decompress in a way, and with family and balance, right? Fun activities. You need to also sometimes relax and treat yourself nice. Another big one. So I don't want to go down the whole list, but there's so much stuff that is so important. But when I was 21 and I moved to LA, I wasn't aware of these things, right? I just went go, and then as you kind of get these knocks down, now you have to learn to deal with life and deal with these challenges. So it's an ongoing process, I believe, that I'm still to this day are figuring it out, in life and in general. So it's okay to figure it out. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. And Tongai, anything else you'd like to add onto all this wisdom that we've put together?
Oh no, I mean it's pretty much out there. I think the biggest thing, you've got to have a life outside of this, because I always say that acting should literally be one of those pleasant inconveniences. You've got your life going on, you book a job and you're like, okay, but I have to stop what I'm doing now because I got this job I need to go do for 2-3 months. If you're able to separate, because I remember my first couple of years in LA, like I was that guy sitting by the phone, just waiting for it to ring, wouldn't go anywhere, wouldn't want to do nothing, because I'm just like, this thing's got to happen. And life just passes you by. You can't go out and enjoy the beach. You can't go hang out with people because you're just so fixated. And you're just mounting these pressures that you don't need to have, because when the phone rings, it will ring. If you miss it, guess what? You call them back and be like, hey, my phone now. And you keep it moving. So I think that's the biggest one, being able to separate your life from the job. Like people do, you go to work, once you leave work and you come home, that office person is in the office. I'm not home. But most of us tend to bring Ekta into the home, Ekta at work, Ekta at the beach, Ekta watching movies, Ekta eating. You're constantly, and people are like, yo, man, chill. So learning to remove and just take it for what it is and call it for what it is. At the end of the day, it's just a job.
Yeah, it's work.
It's not my life. It's a job. Right. And I think that will help you separate and just kind of like get on with everything else that's important. Like everyone has said, family, friends, faith, you know.
Give you more energy.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I think that's a really high note to end on, because I know it's pretty late over there, and Janini's sitting in that car and everyone's waiting on the set for him to get back. So thank you so much for your time, for taking this time. Yeah, you guys are just incredible. I'm like, they're doing all this stuff, but they give time to Ziff to just talk to us and catch up on what they've been up to. So I'm really humbled and I'm really thankful, and I wish you all the best. And congratulations on the awards. We hadn't talked about the awards for the border, and I wish you so much more success, all three of you. And we're looking forward to the next call. And I know you guys are going to be so much bigger than this, that I'll have to call your PA's PA.
Yes.
To get you on this call. So I'm just so grateful that this time we were able to do this and to get this call. So any words as you check out from this call?
No, thank you, Rudo. I feel so honored to be like a part of, you know, Zimbabwe International Film Festival. It's just such a thrill. It's really like everything to me to be able to be a part of that, your community. So, you know, thank you.
Absolutely. And to know that that's where it all started for me as well. With my first Blood Covenant was my first film at the Zimbabwe Film Festival, and then you know, Mantal, I'm forgetting the name of the short film that was also, you know,
was that cousin brother, the one
yeah. You know, so
yeah,
you know that, you know, this is the grassroots, when people are like, oh my gosh, you know, it can happen if you're home, you know, homegrown, and you know, to get to the highest level, you know. So it's always a beautiful reminder, you know, and this is one of the things that ground. It's like, wow, how far we've come, but how far we still have to go, you know. So yeah, I hope that this inspires anyone that's watching it, you know, and when they get to see the films that everyone has done and get to see this little short film, you know, to show you how passion and just the love of something, you know, can take you places. And I think with, you know, Janini's story is just phenomenal. Like, he was a dancer, you know, taking pictures, but when they see what he's able to do, there's no limits. There's no limits. You just have to have the passion and hard work. So I think that's what Ziff is all about. You've been around for over what, 15, 20 years now, which is
the 21st.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's half my life. So that's incredible to see that it's still thriving. And, you know, one day we're going to come back with our feature film, you know, and take Zimbabwe Film Festival to where it should be.
Amen to that. That we can't wait for that to happen. We really can't wait.
Yes.
And yeah, just really happy. Janini, any checkout words from you?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in and watched this. Want to say a special thank you as well to both Tunge and Rick. Again, I can't thank them enough. And I will thank them a lot more times in our careers, hopefully doing big stuff. But and then of course, Rudo, to you as well. Thank you so much. I reached out to you and you responded really well. So I really appreciate you being so welcoming, and then your great response. And I can't wait to visit your beautiful country. Well, I've never been, so
come on now.
I can't wait to see your beautiful people there. And so hopefully the next time we'll be there in person.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be so amazing. So amazing. Can't wait to have you guys. Can't wait to see the work that you guys are going to continue doing and sharing it with the Zimbabwean audience, and just continue inspiring people. You guys are inspiration, and we're just so glad that we can own you guys as our talent. You know, this is what Zim can do. So thank you very much, and just enjoy the rest of your, well, it's night time, so good night. Yeah, and just thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.